Galan has a slight bug on release in those lovely pre-release bundles. Briant Grant gets trolled by Kabam. Daredevil Hell's Kitchen's buffed or fixed and now is being fixed again. More on that in a moment. Carinas Challenges are broken. They've been removed. What's the latest on that particular situation? And much, much more. Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back to the MCN. A bit later on than normal on Friday and a little bit croaky in the throat because I attended a wedding. As a lot of you know, been following the last few videos, I've been away, so I haven't been able to do stuff like this or this. And back to this, so I've not been able to kind of use the full kind of kit of my studio in action, so I've missed that, and I've definitely been missing some of the stuff, so there's a lot of catch up I need to do in some of the content, which will be a little bit delayed than it normally is on a monthly basis, like the cheat sheet and other types of content that I normally do, but thanks for the support, thanks for the understanding, and yes, I did have a lovely time. It was at my cousin's wedding. I don't think I'll be releasing any footage of that because it's private and it's for them really, but yeah, in any case, make sure to check out and hit the like button, subscribe with post notifications on all for some of the other content we posted on the channel, and let's without further ado get into the news show. So first of all, one of the big questions is all about Galan and Galactuses, or Galacti, however you want to kind of describe it. So as a lot of us kind of thought, Act 8 might kind of lead to a culmination, an end point on Galactus-based characters within Marvel Contest of Champions. It's definitely something with the release of Galan, given a lot of questions to the community as to what the heck's going on with this. So, is there more Galactuses on the way? Quite possibly. Definitely was a question that was posed, and Kabam Mike says make sure to read the event quest dialogue this month. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning, so you know that gives you a little bit there. And do bear in mind, and I recommend this, follow Gabriel Frazera over on Twitter. So if you don't know, like, Gabe is the art director, creative director at Kabam Marvel Contest of Champions, and gives really cool insights. So I follow him on Twitter, and it's cool to have these discussions, especially to understand, you know, what is Galactus' purpose in Marvel Contest of Champions in the battle realm, and one kind of like cool answer to this particular subject, especially because I wanted to find out if this was the good guy version. And there's several versions of Galactus. There's a Lifebringer version of Galactus and so many more. And he said in response, like later last month, was I would say that he's somewhat between Lifebringer and Predator Galactus. He has Galactus powers and the same hunger for planetary energy, but decided to deal with it in a very different way. But I think like the most kind of like interesting part of the response, or a little bit before, was when he said, but he's not the only Galactus in the battle realm, as we've seen in some past stories, but you know, some future stories, it's interesting to find out. So yeah, more Galactuses could be on the way as playable champions or villain champions. I want to say there'll probably be like a really cool dynamic in the future. Now to the subject of Carinas Challenges, as like a lot of people are, like myself, Thronebreaker, just doing the last little bits of grind in order to get themselves up to Paragon. And for me, I've done a good amount. I think I've done like 4 Carinas Challenges from Volume 2. No, 5 Carinas Challenges from Volume 2. Several more to go, but to be honest, I can get Paragon from either buying from the Loyalty Store, who knew that could be a thing, the Grandmaster Gauntlet, which came back, or waiting around for my rewards from Eternity of Pain. So I got 3 choices of ways to become Paragon as a non-spending player, which is really cool, by the way, to kind of have that this year rather than, you know, last year where it became very difficult, like you have to do Carinas Challenges. But in any case, the choices with a lot of players, and players have gone out since the Carinas Challenges have come back to do them. So is this okay? Has there been a problem? Yes, there indeed has been a problem. So players said this morning, I took my Joe Fixer up to rank 5 in preparation for 6.3.1 Carinas Challenge, which I think that's the one where you've got a certain team you've got to use in it. And also a bleed champion in order to kind of like take down that Medusa in 6.3.1. I wanted to take a test run, and before I actually do challenge, took Fix It, Sunspots, Hyperion, Yellow Jacket, who are all champions you can use in Carinas Challenge, to Hercules, blah 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 blah, who is not eligible for the challenge. I finished the path and beat Black Bolt Mini, then got to the champion switch node. I switched Hercules for Ultron for the synergy purposes, so my whole team became eligible for the Carinas Challenge. Didn't expect to do it, but I soloed Medusa with Fix It, get to the point. To my surprise, it gave me the credit for beating the challenge. I severely doubt you're supposed to be able to do this, allowed to do this. If someone will be able to confirm if this is an exploit, and that should file a ticket. So basically, you were meant to go from the start to the end with the same team, and this one was what this player said, like, you know, he's basically tested it out to see whether or not it could work. And lots of kind of like questions, queries and things brought up, and in particular this. Thanks for the heads up, we're talking to the team about this as soon as we can. So that's the first thing. Update yesterday was that so this was unsurprisingly not intended. We won't know what action will be taken to resolve this. Potential clawback of rewards, reset. Oh god, people might lose their rewards if they've done this. So take into consideration when thinking of using this is an exploit, so don't do that. Immediate follow-up, Carinas Challenges will be taken down temporarily again, but they will have them again very soon. Apparently the build populated with old data. Shouldn't be a lengthily fixed update to follow. And the kind of like end point on this one, I think the update is that it's going to be coming in today, so the 5th of August, saying that issue was found and resolved. The challenge will be reinstated tomorrow, so August 5th today. If you finish the challenge before we took down today, lucky you, congratulations, the rewards will remain. If you finish the challenge today while they were down, file a support ticket, they will able to mark the objective completed to get your reward. So there's a happy ending to that one, so to speak. So yeah, these Carinas Challenges return back later today for those that are kind of wondering what the crack is with that one, especially with the changes with the Switch node. Next up, and Daredevil Hell's Kitchen. Look, a lot of you know Daredevil's Hell's Kitchen. We covered this where there seemed to be a problem with the champion in that he wasn't kind of firing off to the extent of damage that he is normally, or you'd associate his kind of interaction with damage scaling, with debuffs and stuff like that, okay? And it looks like things have slightly improved for him, which is great. But then some questions are raised about like this particular GIF right here of a fight where the champion doesn't seem to be doing any damage. Like, look, he's hitting on basic hits and there's no damage. There's no, you know, crits, which you can see right now. So there's a lot. So whether or not the champion is fixed but not, or reaches a certain threshold of damage before, or hits before it's then like the champion is not correctly kind of like firing off damage or seeing the numbers. There's a very odd thing going on with Daredevil's Hell's Kitchen at the moment. I'm not going to read out the full extent of this particular thread because there's a lot of kind of like information, technical jargon and stuff that needs to be kind of like we need to get to a point here, an end point of what Kabam are doing about it. So the TLDR, which, you know, shout out to who's posted this, was it yeah, Rookie who posted this. The TLDR is Kabam didn't fully fix the Kingpin synergy. They just put a beautiful rug over a cracked floor. Daredevil Hell's Kitchen still gets huge damage, but when used wrongly or over time, all the bugs still prevail. So again, as I said, without going into any of the like technical information, which you can check out in the description as to you know, how this is all broken down, how this all looks. Kabam's a bit said there that, hey there, the team found the issue is with his damage drop off and is working on a fix for it. The attack rating bonus he gets from the Stick's Apprentice ability was improperly scaling based on damaging debuffs gained throughout the entire fight rather than those on him at the time, resulting in some higher than intended damage. That's disappointing. Since the bonus also scales down with each debuff, it would then scale down farther than intended as well, eventually resulting in much lower than intended damage. The fix should make it so that he's only scaling based on debuffs on him at the moment, which may drop off some of the damage spikes, but will also prevent him from lowering attack rating below his base. Even after this, he's still coming away with higher damage than he had in the previous patch though. So I think, like, in a nutshell, Kabam is saying, like, well, in a nutshell, it's a case of like the champion is bugged, but what Kabam are kind of like saying is like he's bugged, but he's getting more damage than he potentially should do, but they're gonna like fix the bug by still taking down the damage that he's potentially getting now as part of the bug, but is still going to perform better than he should be when he was kind of like pre-bug state. I think that's a way of explaining it. I don't know. It's Marvel Contest of Champions, it's Kabam, and we all know, for the amount of years we played, we all know what's going on with that and what's going down with that situation with bugs and fixes and stuff that should be big that should be small. Virtual Insanity, Jamiroquai, it's a song. Check it out. Next up now, and on to Galan. Yes, Galan is a bit of a problem for players for Willpower. Willpower doesn't seem to be kind of like working properly with the champion, which you can see on screen right now. And this is definitely confirmed as being a bug. The weird thing about this is that the champion went out for pre-release bundles, which I think, like, because I'm a little bit... No, it's there. There's pre-release bundles. By the way, the Staff of Tar crystals look amazing, by the way. I'm still non-spending and continue going to be non-spending until the end of the year when I make a decision on maybe changing it. I don't know. But it's certainly interesting to note that the champion that has come in is just that slightly bit bugged with Willpower. It is something Kabam aren't going to commit to fixing, and it was confirmed that this is a bug. He should be healing from Willpower. We're on the case. So that was yesterday. So yeah, if you've bought the champion, then he will be kind of like fixed at some stage when it comes to Willpower. Very odd that's a situation, but you know, again, these are bugs that come into Marvel Contest of Champions. So if anybody's wondering why he's not getting Willpower, Kabam are on the way to give it a fix. Next up, and on to a very weird situation. Now, Briant Grant became Paragon. When was this? Was this yesterday? And so some people sent me this and said, like, Kabam trolled Brian by doing this. So at that at this moment, right, and we'll kind of like give, again, more kind of context to this. I don't know. So what I'm hearing is that this was a joke played by Kabam themselves on Brian to say your account has been permanently closed. Your account has been suspended for benefiting from a bug in an unintended and excessive manner. TOS 11. So I don't really know how to kind of like. I just love that moment with the eyes. Honestly, like, I know this is kind of like, it's so funny. By the way, check out the link in the description for it. I just love that moment. That just moment there, you can see it, like, it's on screen like that. The eyes, just like the kind of like sudden like realization where you just go, uh-oh. It's like the raise of the eyes, like, oh my god, what have I done? But at the same time, like, what the heck is? And it's like all those years are just flashing by of all that work that's been done, especially all that time that's been invested. And it's like, I'd like the face, the screw up face. So yeah, from what I gathered, this is, from what people were saying, right, this was a prank played by Kabam. Now, I kind of find this, it's funny. It's really funny, but at the same time, it's kind of like, it's kind of serious. I find it quite scary that like a games developer can do this, or at least have the power to do this, especially over players. And it does raise a lot of concerns to a degree. But as I said, like, it is funny. It's just like, I kind of don't like stuff like this because I feel like it's too much of a power play. Because it is like basically going like, we can do anything, like that you have no rights, you have no power, because we can just like totally, like, you know, do stuff like that. But yeah, as I said, it's funny enough. It was a joke apparently. Possibly. I haven't had this 100% confirmed that it's a joke, especially from Kabam's standpoint, and I've obviously been away for, you know, the last couple of days. But yeah, scary, weird times. Slightly, you know, it's very funny, but I'm like, oh, okay, that's a thing. Yeah. Thoughts on this in the comment section. Do you kind of like? I can imagine a lot of people will agree that it's funny. But would you be slightly worried if Kabam did something like this, or any kind of games developer did this as a joke, even if you kind of felt like you had that kind of rapport with them? I don't know. thoughts in the comment section about this. Also, thanks very much to everybody that supports the channel as a patron and a YouTube member. You're on screen right now. And also those that support on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. I may be live streaming tonight, I don't know. I'm trying to catch up on some of the content and videos that I've got to be making, especially over the weekend. So look forward to delivering that to you very, very soon. And make sure as well to hit up some of the content that's on screen right now. And yeah, catch up with some previous videos. And I'll see you in the funny pages. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.